the full extension of the block string, right? Crouching light punch, standing strong. We're still holding. We're still holding. Da, 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 da. Crouching medium punch. Okay. And then you think it's kind of your turn after the standing fierce, right? And who doesn't? Who doesn't, right? But here comes that forward reaching standing medium kick in her case. Can you interrupt here? Yeah, obviously we can. We can, in between the standing fierce and the standing medium kick, you could insert your own standing medium kick and buffer it into something. Sometimes just best to kind of hold the buttons. It's okay to be more defensive as well. I'd say overall your defense is pretty good leading up to this point. If you're going to get tagged in any normal, what better one than this? But what we want to pay attention to is first off, what are the block strings Cammy's going for? Okay, well, crouching light punch, standing strong, crouching strong, standing fierce, standing medium kick. So she's naturally working her way out on pushback on block. And we're just getting tagged on the end one. But how does she behave after you get tagged? That's the more telling thing. Is it going to be a forward dash, jump in? Does she not go in at all? Instead, leaves you there to kind of stew? If it's the third option that I mentioned, the leaving you to stew, then I suspect high-level player, because I think that they're more confident in their ability to react to you jumping out of the corner, and they're also looking to see, okay, how do you react, right? They're taking data on you just like you're taking data on them. It's important to be able to tell who's taking data on who and on what and at what points, so you know where you can kind of insert some misdirection. So what I don't want to see right here is any kind of jump back, neutral, or forward. And then we get caught deer in the headlights, right? So that's what I kind of expected. So what do they do after the end of it all? Boom, boom. +2 does not mean you get to dash forward for 10 million frames and then start a throw, which takes 10 more million frames to do. But instead, we kind of held it there. So what do we do? How does our focus change when we're in the corner and when we're mid-screen? This is the same all around. As you approach the max potential of your opponent's block strings, right? This is a pretty clean, clear, cut, and dry block string, meaning there's no micro steps in there. They're not elongating the block string at all. They're just going with it, right? So how do you cope with it? This last hit? You might as well just say it's on block, but on hit it doesn't really matter. It's +2, right? How do we cope with it? If we're going to be defensive, we need to look for the forward dash. Okay, we're looking for forward dashes at the end of block strings. We're looking for, that's overstepping their turn. These are all overstepping their turns, right? Forward dash, we have jumping, especially with Cammy. You know, your focus is going to be kind of doubled down on that. And you're going to be essentially looking to, if nothing, then get back into a neutral groove. In this case, your back is to the wall. You're in the corner. So we're going to probably start working to micro step our way out. Slowly but surely micro step our way out. If your opponent at the end of a block string dashes in at you, we have to check them. You got to check them. Give them that standing light punch, 3 frames. And how would we check them? And what sequence would we check them? Well, we already know. Okay, so standing light punch. We would go standing light punch. In this case, I'd prefer standing light punch, crouching medium punch. And then probably variation on to standing strong. So you do like standing light punch. Crouch medium punch, standing medium punch, because it's your furthest reaching button. So that'd be how I prefer you to interrupt her, right? If it's counter hit on the standing light punch, if you counter hit that forward throw that she attempts for, then good, fine. It's you naturally combo into your crouching medium punch, and then you do your standing medium kick, V skill launcher like Kicktatsu, heavy Kicktatsu, switch sides, put Cam in the corner. Good, done. But things to focus on, going way back to another option. Whoops. Is right here. Things to focus on. You need to answer this question. What do they opt for? What option? Okay? Jump anti-air. Hey, thank you so much for the follow, friend. Welcome to the channel. Jump anti-air. Okay. And we'll just say nothing. Establish the neutral again for a rhythm. But, and this is very important, not directly, okay? important enough for me to make it all caps and then even bold this shit. Okay, I cannot point this out enough to you Akuma players, to any of you. This is fundamentals in terms of how do you take your turns. This is not Monopoly that we're playing. We don't roll the dice, okay, and hope for the best and then tell our opponent, all right, it's your turn. Okay, we don't know. Make this shit bold right now, I swear to God. Swear to God, program, make it bold. I should probably take some time to actually learn how to use this program off stream. There we go. You know what? Whatever. The entire thing's bold, but that's important. Nothing. Okay, so the nothing option is where we lose our minds the most. Our opponent jumps in, we know to anti-air them. Even if we get hit in the face, we know, okay, fine, we anti-aired them. But if our opponent dashes, okay, maybe we held the dash and we should have done something about it. If our opponent does nothing, it's like our brains cannot handle it. Too often I see the worst example. You see the dash in or the jump in, like a reversal dash or jump or anything massively unsafe. Okay, worst example. But the second worst and more subtle example, and this is typically the more difficult things to pick out of your gameplay. Okay, how does my opponent know when I'm approaching? What is it that's making me so obvious on my approach, or something underlying? And it's hard to identify. It's when you block, okay, after blocking an entire block string, just because it is your turn does not mean it is your turn. It is your turn, but it's not really. In that, I need you to take your time in your approach. If I put a full block string on you and then you directly come right back at me, you are going to get lit up, guaranteed. Why? Because I knew that you were coming directly back at me. Okay, if I put pressure on you, I'm at the end of my block string. I think, he blocked that entire thing. I'm thinking about what I might want to adjust in my block string for my next time. But most in my forefront of my focus is, now that you've been pushed back at range, what does my opponent do? Okay, if you forward dash, you jump in, you commit to some kind of fireball, you commit to anything that's so static that you cannot get out of it, you are going to get punished. You are going to get lit up, and it's never fun, because if it's a jump in, well, then you just got anti-aired, and then you feel like maybe I can't jump. If it's a forward dash and you get checked, well, then that's not fun, because your opponent's really paying attention. If it's a fireball, you get jumped in on. So what I mean is, block the whole string, guys, and this applies to every damn person in the room. Block the whole string, but when it's your turn, be subtle about it, right? We got to have a little bit of back and forth. Don't take the very first option. When we do some CPT analysis later tonight, I will do my damnedest to point this out. One of the strongest aspects of your gameplay is realizing that, okay, I must attack my opponent, but I don't need to do it in the most direct way. It might be my turn, but I don't have to sit there and roll the dice and directly in reversal timing go for it. You can wiggle back and forth. Just as you feint your fireballs, so should you mix up your approach. Okay? So should you approach, and then, so I might, after that block string, I might step into Cammy's crouching medium kick range and then immediately step back out. What does Cammy do? Nothing. Does she hand me the crouching medium kick and then I'm able to whiff punish? That's the kind of thing I'm looking for. I'm not going block the block string. Now my turn, attack. Okay, so hopefully, if I need to, while I write this down, if I need to go any further on that, just let me know. So differing your timings on your approach during your turn allows for more fluid and dynamic offense, which requires far more focus and adaptation from your opponent than one that simply reversals in the when I say reversal, I'm using the term super loosely here. Reversal attacks. As one that simply takes their turn directly. How about that? All right. Makes perfect sense. You realize now that you're only focusing on mid string rather than end of string, if that makes sense. No, that makes total sense. The end of your block strings, guys, I've taught a lesson on this, so I'm not going to dive too deep on it. Okay, but if you take up any given block string, in this sense, we can use Cami. Okay, we can use Cami, right? So we're in the corner, blah, 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 blah. Here's the block string. Okay, after this block string, right here, this is the end of the block string. By all means, this is the end of the block string. After this point, here's where the opening is. Technically speaking, can be opened up with relative ease. If I would do the same thing as Kimte here, but I wouldn't. This is technically the end of the block string. You are creating a block string is a hit confirm. Okay, a block string is our frame traps and hit confirms, right? It's applying pressure. That's what a block string is. Best case scenario from a block string is what? You hit your opponent. Okay, you get the hit confirm. You do the most optimal combo with the best follow up, the best corner carry. You put your opponent in the corner. You put them through the exact same thing again. You have good variation. These are all things that are part of your offense that need to be a thing, right? That's like the main goal of block strings and hit confirms. But the fact of the matter is, and people block, and so block strings become a little bit more varied. And one thing that's very important to know about block strings is just as you manually create space for your opponent to fill, when you're in the neutral, walking back and forth, you step into your opponent's crouching medium kick zone, then you step back out, they try the crouching medium kick, and you're like, boom, effer, I got you. I have to watch my language. I got you, right? You created a space that was apparent for your opponent to fill, and they tried for it. You step back, whiff punish. Same concept with block strings. As soon as I am out on all of my block strings, I know the pushback, right? As soon as I push them back far enough, I'm looking for whiff punish attempts, okay? Did I use the block string that I like that leaves a little bit of a space for them to maybe put in a button, right? Or maybe I wiggle in and wiggle back out and then go for the counter offense. Because you imagine you do an entire block string and you create a good space for your opponent to fill, then you get the whiff punish. That's even probably better than, in a lot of cases, better than if the block string hits late or something like that. Especially with Akuma, where his main whiff punish button is what? Standing medium kick like Itatsu. So focusing your block string, you need to get the most out of it. Block strings are not just hit confirms. They are step one hit confirms, okay? Laying down pressure. Step one, blah, 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 right? Okay? But if nothing else, then you go to the neutral where you know the distance, okay? If they jump, it's easier to tell. You can do some counter pokes. You can do some whiff punishing. So using your block strings to the utmost means using them beyond the string to set up basic pushback, to set up guaranteed distances where we can become comfortable. And in a way, you can kind of chunk the game by saying, okay, after this block string, I've been here a million times. Like if I do standing light kick, crouch light kick, crouch light punch, or standing light kick, crouch light kick, standing light punch, I know exactly where I am on block. I know exactly what moves will whiff right in front of my face. I know exactly how much I need to micro step to do a standing fierce as a counter poke. I know if my opponent jumps, I have the anti-air set up perfectly. If they jump, I might do the jump strong like Itatsu. All these kind of senses build in from my block string that starts as the hit confirm that ends up being the other page of it, right? The first page is, shit, we got a hit confirm. The second page is, okay, that didn't work. What else? So focus on that in two different ways. Something else to take note of, and this is basic 101 kind of stuff. We won't cover all these topics in the rest of the replay analysis, but while I have all your eyes and ears, you might as well say it, is your round one data, right? So we're looking at block strings here. In this block string, I would say keeping it tight. Some people start wide with their block strings and then go small. Some people start small and then go wide. This Kami's starting small, so it would appear, and then going wide. What do I mean by that? Imagine as Akuma, your +3 buttons, which are basically all of them, it seems. Crouching medium punch. If you're going to do crouching medium punch, standing strong, light red fireball, you can do that point blank, okay? And if your opponent fully blocks it up, maybe next time you go crouching medium punch, micro step forward, crouching medium punch, standing medium punch, light red fireball. That's kind of letting your opponent know that, yeah, they're stepping in on you a little bit, right? You're overtaking your turn. You're abusing the fact that your normal is plus on block. This is something that you take as the defender into your analysis of your opponent while in a live match, and something you take as the offender. In this case, the Kami is starting small and perhaps goes wide further on. So after that, remember we get the forward dash. We're going to start checking those. And I want to see what just happened there. I start flying through this. We are only a few seconds in this. Okay, so we wake up. Now, after a forward throw, most every forward throw in the game, corner ones can be a little exception, but most every forward throw in the game, if you quick rise it, you really can't be approached. You really can't be too much. The threat is low, but you need to choose what you're doing pretty wisely. So right here, Cammy's +5, 3, 2, 1. Okay, right here, you're good to press a button. I need you to be super, super careful on what you press. So this is what I'm teaching most Akumas, actually all Akumas, to do now. And this is after watching a few of the most recent CPT breakdowns that we've done. I think I agree with Taquito and a few other Akumas that I'm seeing adopt this. Instead of doing the light punch, being 1 frame faster, we're going to go for the crouching light punch. Because we want to get the range, right? Crouching light punch reach is your furthest reaching crouching normal that you have. It's only 4 frames, but it's +2 on block. Naturally, if it hits, counter hit, right? If it's going to hit, it's going to probably hit counter hit first off. It's going to interrupt something. And then you go into your crouching medium kick. Either way, you have your single hit confirms. If you do not have your crouching medium kick into medium kick tatsu single hit confirm, guys, I hate to say this. If you're thinking, oh shit, that's me, you need to get him down. That's one of the biggest pieces of Akuma's tool set in the neutral. And I know it's difficult, but you got to get them down. You got to be able to do it online, just as you need to be able to do it in tournament. So right here, if you interrupt with crouching light punch, well, you are already in range for it. And that is the time. So you're waking up good and patient, but we want to be extra careful because despite it looking, things don't look great by any means. Your health is halfway down. Your stun is well over 75%, basically. You are one really bad touch away from basically almost losing the round. So your calculated approach goes from, okay, they're gonna forward throw me. You do quick rise, of course, from a forward throw. If you guys don't know, you only can quick rise or no rise. There is no back rise on a throw or a command throw. So you quick rise, right? And then we need to face the music, so we don't give her any time to set up. So you do the correct thing. You go for a crouching light punch, but it's just frames too late. And that's one of the frustrating aspects of Street Fighter, right? Is that every character is different. It's one of the frustrating but rewarding aspects of Street Fighter. Every character is different on their knockdown advantage, on their throws, on their walk speed, on the startup of their normals, the range of the normals. So in this case, you were like 1 frame, 2 frames from being almost perfect. Alternatively, what do? After forward throw in the corner? Well, you hold the button again. Sadly, though, this is going to cause a stun. Thankfully, you're not going to be out of it because she needs something more. Okay, they drop their combo. You quick rise this mofo and hit her now. Sorry, that ladybug is scaring the hell out of me. I hate bugs. Yeah, and you were a little bit late. That's fine. All right, so the starter here, I can understand starting with crouching medium punch just because you're not sure how many frames you lost by the dropped combo from your opponent. But let's get to work. More work than that. More work. First off, we did a V-skill combo, and you already have your V-trigger. I know this is a scramble. Guys, keep in mind, it's a scramble situation. Kimte's almost dead here in the corner, right? And his opponent has just barely gifted him something. By all means, where it can be difficult to choose the right, most exact path. But I prefer... I don't want you to activate yet, but I would prefer you to do a combo maybe a little bit more damaging. Rather the one that builds a little bit more CA critical art meter since your V meter's full. So you can do crouch medium punch, standing medium kick, V skill launcher, light kick tatsu, heavy kick tatsu. That's going to keep you on the same side. Believe it or not, since they are already in the corner, that will keep you on the same side. You can also substitute the heavy kick tatsu that I just said there for fierce DP. But regardless, okay, so we have some follow-up here, right? If they quick rise and back rise, they back rise in this case, gives you even more follow-up. That's a mistake from Cammy. And you're going to manually time your offense now. And, I think your timing of your button is really well placed, right? Obviously, we're fearing what the wake up DP. So reversal DP, and if you block that out in your imagination, block for like 4 frames and press the button, then you're usually good. Typically, you want to use a light attack though if you're going to do that. Right here is the first question mark. Do we want to spend the meter? Well, meter means nothing if you're dead, but it is only first round, so it's up to you. I need you to have, though, if you're going to give her a button to V reversal, I need you to have your, dear God. Did I just see a Super Diamond player pull this shit off? I could have a tear go down my eye right now. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's perfect. It's everything I could have hoped for. I'm like, if you're gonna spend the meter, you better be ready. Every Akuma player right now, we are getting the lesson here. Okay, doesn't get more pretty than that. I don't care who you are. If you play Akuma and you do that once in a ranked match, you will sleep better that night. I guarantee. You fall asleep quicker. You're more restful. You wake up with a smile the next day. There's a spring in your damn step. All right? That is clean as hell. Okay, so what we need now, what's the continuation? Well, he's plus 20 million. Plus 20. Plus 20. So the continuation, naturally, Kimte wants to start with the roundhouse. Because when do you get to start your combo with the roundhouse? Other than, like the crush counters and whatnot. In this case, it's fine to start with the roundhouse, but we gotta, as Kimte is quickly realizing, we need to side switch. It's so beautiful, and then the mistake. So the side switch. I cannot believe you pulled off the parry so perfectly, only to ignore the side switch. Damn, does not tarnish the parry at all. That's beautiful. Standing. So it's fine for you to go right here. Maybe. Typically, I like to keep. My thinking is okay in this situation. The further I do a combo out, before I V-skill launch reversal them, the further they are from the corner, right? So if I go roundhouse, standing medium kick, V-skill launch, or light kick tatsu, heavy kick tatsu, which is what you probably should have done, actually the variation on that, we'll talk about in a second. If I start with the roundhouse, that's a massive, we are walking them to this corner, out away from the corner. So by the time we side switch, they're not going to be they're going to be in the corner, but not like waking up fully with us right there in the corner, if you know what I mean. They might be, but you're starting to push them out a little bit further. So a lot of times people do like crouching fierce, standing medium kick, V-skill launch, or light kick tatsu, heavy kick tatsu. One thing I'd like to see, so we have an inaccuracy here. This is not wrong in that it's good that he landed the combo. The inaccuracy is the combo itself. So parry, boom, fine. Do this stuff. I don't care. Do whatever you want. You earned it, man. Standing medium kick from here, V-skill launcher. And does anybody know the follow-up from the V-skill launcher? Bum, 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 bum. What's up, usable fiber? I see your name everywhere as well. Almost, Kimte. Almost. Peripheral. V-skill launcher peripheral. If you want to stay same side, we don't want to stay same side. So Kimte, you are so close to being correct. But what we actually need is what we saw from Jiminy Boy earlier. We got to take in context everything, and that's get that DP activated. So the exact combo, yes, DP activation. Ragmuffin has it. The exact combo is anything V-skill launcher. Okay, so in this case, roundhouse, standing medium kick, V-skill launcher, light kick tatsu to get on the other side, heavy punch DP, second hit V-trigger activate. Okay, forward dash like you are running from somebody with a chainsaw, light punch DP. So again, V-skill launcher, light kick tatsu, fierce DP, second hit, V-trigger 1 activate, forward dash light, V-trigger DP. Cammy's waking up in the corner on a hard knockdown. Her stun is way higher. Your position is way better. Your V-trigger is nice and active for you already. And now we will be deciding, okay, what is it we really want to give Cammy? So if you do not have this combo down, guys, and you might think, well, that's such a specific combo, Sheldon. It's really not. The number of times I do this combo in any given stream is quite, it's enough for me to bring it up right now. Let's put it like that. Anytime you need to do a side switch combo and your V-trigger is there and ready to be used, that's the combo you go for. Hands down. There's almost no situation where it's better. So the inaccuracies in the combo. And if you wanted to hold your, or if you didn't have V trigger, then yes, the other combo, the light kick tatsu, heavy kick tatsu, is the option. So we brought them back to the center of the screen, sadly, and then they wake up with buttons. And sadly, I get why you didn't. I get why you're delaying yours because who knows? Are they gonna EXDP? If they EXDP you, it kills you. I get it. But they're waking up with a block string, which you block correctly. They activate their V trigger. And more defense from you. Everything's looking good. The back jump is where you would get killed if you were playing against the camis I play against. That back jump right there makes me, it scares the hell out of me because I can't tell you how many times Dan Slip, I backdashed right in this similar situation, be it Crouch Fierce or Stand Fierce activate. And then I'm like, not backdash, sorry, I back jump. I'm like, get me the hell out of here because I'm worried. Why are we back jumping? Well, because first off, this guy is holding pressure to, this guy is defending like perfectly. So the more you defend, the more tense you are. When your health is low, your position on the screen is poor, blah, 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 right? So a better cami follows you down, and on this backdash, especially with their V-trigger activate, that's just a heavy kick DP, critical art if they want. They don't need to. You're dead as soon as you jumped, essentially. In perfect play, you're dead as soon as you jump. And it's not that perfect. They should be focusing on nothing but the anti-air as soon as they see you jump. That all being said, the actual place to catch them, since they didn't give us the wake up EXDP, is when they forward dash. So they check us with the low. Okay, the low is crouching medium kick, and most lows in the game that are special cancelable are negative. Okay, they're negative or punishable even. This one is punishable at perfect range, but we're not going to try for the punish. What's important to note here is that Cammy is telling us something. Okay, this is the message Cammy's telling us. Don't look at what Akuma does. Look at what Cammy does. The low is not canceled. Okay, Cammy's turn is over. But the distance is scary, isn't it? Because it's that freaking V-trigger DP that we're so terrified of. It's the DP, the V-trigger dive kick is what I meant to say. And it's the dive kick that we're scared of because why? We can't V-trigger activate to punish it. If you try to V-trigger activate and to punish the DP, the dive kick, I'm going to keep saying it wrong, you're going to get hit. It's just too fast, her V-trigger version. So, Kim Tae does a knee-jerk reaction. He says, this is scary as shit. Get me the hell out of here. I don't like this. In reality, what we needed to do was stand our ground, okay? So as soon as Cammy gave us that crouching medium kick, bump, 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 that one right there. Our turn, but not our turn directly, okay? So we waited out. We waited out. Walk back just a bit and plant your feet again right there, crouching, okay? Now is when it's do or die, okay? This is your only option. It is, you survive, okay? We have to anti-air. You walk back, you crouch block again, and you hope to God that there's no rollback, nothing that's going to allow you to medium punch DP as best as you can. EXDP if you really feel like you have to. And then you can even consider the activation, right? But either way, we know Cammy is V-trigger activated. That means watch out for the sky, and boy is it annoying to anti-air her when you know she's going to jump and you still are somehow late. Anti-air even when she's in don't parry V-skill. Don't parry V-skill. You can parry if you're a Ryu, but I really don't suggest it with Akuma. You can end up looking in the wrong direction, or multiple hits will fuck you up regardless. Yeah, anti-air when she is with V-trigger already active. I know it's annoying and frustrating and a little bit more difficult, but what you can do is use the EXDP. I would not blame you. Spend that bar, get her knocked down, right? But either way, that back jump is concerning to me. Also, another thing is how are you activating your V-trigger? And I almost could guarantee it was going to be just because of the back jump, right? You kind of telegraph this at higher level play. First off, you'd be dead right here. That's to note. Okay, you would be dead right there, but then you'd be dead right here as well. Because as soon as you activated, as soon as you threw the fireball, that's going to be an EX, not even an EX drill, just regular drill. Because it's so telegraphed, right? It's the way into V-trigger. It's what you need your V-trigger active, but it's the way into V-trigger. And even though you didn't directly go for it, and that you did crouch block for a moment, we went from a crouching position to directly into the fireball activate position, right? So crouching, if your opponent is crouch blocking and then they immediately, first off, their V trigger's flashing and they want to get into it. Okay. They wake up Fireball activate. Most common way to activate Fireball at this range. Activate your V trigger at this range. It's gonna be much easier to take a swing at them. If this is a tournament and a more skilled Cammy, you're dead every time. So what do we do instead? You correctly defend. Let's pretend we survived the back jump. Okay. Here we are blocking. Get up. Breathe just for a microsecond. Okay. Move around just a little bit. Move around, but not really. You know what I mean? Make it look like we're going for something other than, okay, I need to activate Fireball, V-Trigger, okay? Because the window is just too direct. They don't punish you on it, which is amazing. They missed their opportunity. So if I were critiquing the Cammy, I'd be like, well, you should have known back jump. He needs to get into this V-Trigger somehow. Okay, the air reset, crouching medium punch. You don't do the incorrect thing by, like trying to combo from it. So you see that. However, what does every Akuma in the world ever want to do? Like, what is our beyond like Raging Demon with V trigger activated? We just want to throw away our entire bar as soon as we go to the sky. Sadly, Cammy has a fantastic DP. So as soon as I see this reset, I'm thinking, well, this looks like instant air V trigger Fireball, which as the meta, I don't even know what happens, but thankfully you don't do it. Because of the range, much better, much better. But either way, technically speaking, you should have been anti-aired and killed right there. And even though you don't go for the V-Trigger Fireball, the V-Trigger Fireball being the option, one of the main options in the meta right now, leads me to look towards the anti-air a little bit more anyway. Your option is better, but vulnerable in what it's giving off. Okay, we do drop the combo. So it's something to keep in mind. People, if you drop your combos in tournament, nobody has any shame. If you're in a death combo, by the way, just to quickly critique that Cammy, if your opponent is hitting you and oh, I'm going to die from this combo, there is no shame in mashing DP like you have never mashed before. Feel free to, because if your opponent drops their combo, well, they're going to eat the EXDP, most likely. If you're doing it in tournament that's sitting right next to you, you still do it. You just do it more quietly, right? Out of respect. But no, you do it more quietly, so you don't want them to know and then purposely try some gimmick where you waste a bar. But the idea is if you're dead, you might as well try to interrupt it. And there's no shame in that. I've seen Taquito do it. I've seen every top player you cannot imagine mashing ever. But mashing is important when it's done in the right place. I like the jab. I like the approach this time. We could have got better corner carry. So let's since you build meter like crazy, right? Akuma's a meter building machine. You're almost approaching full meter anyway. I'd prefer, in this case, you actually to burn a bar, put her in the corner right away. Not a bad play. Again, I don't want to spend too much time critiquing the things that you actually convert on. But if it were me, okay, right here, crouching fierce, standing medium kick, like Itasu, EX demon flip, hold forward toward the corner, and let it slide. Okay, so you get the most corner carry. You basically put them in the corner for a single bar. It does more damage. It builds a decent amount of meter. It spends a single bar, and by the time you have that, by the time it's ideal for you to spend critical art, you will have already built it back and then some. Not a bad combo, but just something to think about. And also that, you're a Super Diamond player now, and I hate to say this, plug your ears, guys. If you're not Super Diamond, if you're beneath Super Diamond, don't listen to me. But this is one of the moments, like in every Akuma player's life, where you find out like Santa Claus and Tooth Fairy is not real. Crush, medium punch, standing medium kick, V skill launcher, medium kick, demon flip, instant palm into the forward dash crouch fierce follow up because it covers both sides. It covers both rises, the quick and the back. It becomes less and less a viable option, and there's only one reason for it. You start to go, well, this is like the most common follow up, right? V skill launcher, medium demon flip, instant palm, forward dash crouch fierce, covers both rises. Well, if they quick rise, it's a guaranteed V reversal, so that's kind of sucks. If they back rise, they can't actually V reversal. I don't think most of the cast can, but she would side switch on you. You would not have time to parry. What's worse though at high level play, and this is why this is a good time to talk about this, is since it's one of your best knockdowns. It's that crouching fierce is fantastic if it hits, but if it doesn't hit and you're going for it, That's an EXTP from me every day. If we were mirror matching or if I'm playing any character with an EXTP, I see you launch me, standing medium kick, V-skill launcher, medium kick, demon flip, instant palm, forward dash, and you're up to that point, I'm going, he's probably doing the crouching fierce. So quick rise or back rise, doesn't matter. EXTP, reversal, let's go. And also to consider, something to consider before I supplement, this is going to go into your chart, so I'm not just rambling for no reason here. Something to consider on this knockdown is on block. Let's take the best case scenario on block. It's +3. Crouch fierce is amazing. Everybody complains about it, blah, 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 blah. I don't care. Okay, on block, and they don't reversal it. You're +3. You have precisely one more normal that can be blocked. At point blank range, crouching fierce presses back so far that you have one more normal that you can do. You pick or choose. Crouch medium punch, crouch medium kick, standing strong, but it's one, whatever you choose. And then after that, they are pushed back to the neutral. Okay? And they can backdash for pretty much free, as Kim Tay just said. Very good question input there. Now that's best case scenario on block. What if they back rise and they block the crouch fierce? So we're talking about pushback. In back rise, we already know inserts additional distance between you and your opponent. So if they back rise, then the follow-up was nothing. So what do we really want out of our follow-ups? Well, the most winning situation is to hit them, right? Or the second most winning situation is to try to create the most opportunities and windows for you to hit them. Or have a full block string blocked. But no reversals and nothing like that. That's what we don't want. So, thing to focus on. And we will add this quick, because I realize I am seriously heavy-winded on this one, but I feel like this is good information. Whoop, doop, 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 doop. Let's see here. Bam! Topic number 3. Under things to focus on for Mr. Kim Tay. I'll just write the most common thing. It's standing medium kick. Sorry, crouch medium punch, standing medium kick, XX, V skill, launcher. Sorry, technically that's kick, right? XX, MK, DF, demon flip, IA, instant air, palm, right? So crouch medium punch, stand medium kick, into standing medium kick. The XX stands for cancel and a V skill, into the launcher, medium kick, demon flip, palm. In instant air palm, because you have to instant air, right? All right, this is the so we'll call this varying, or we'll say stepping away from the meta. That's what we'll call it, stepping away from the meta. Yeah, this is the conversation. Like I said, it's something that if you are a super gold Akuma, I'm telling you to do the exact thing right here. I'm telling you to do this exact combo, right? Where if you're a super diamond, I'm saying, all right, let's pull this back. God damn you. God damn you, I say. Right? Instead, how do I want to do this? Meta situation. Meta combo 1. 2 straightforward. This is what we're going to do instead. We're going to make things manually timed is often better. Rule of thumb, guys. Manually time is better. Why? Because if you manually time it, man, it doesn't get more fluid than that, right? So let's replace this combo with the big boy stuff. Ready? Crouch medium punch. Stand medium kick. V-skill launcher. V-skill launcher. Heavy kick, demon flip. Late palm. Palm late. Late as you can. Okay, follow up. And here's where it gets scary. Dash. Manually frame kill. Slash identify. Whoop. Identify rise. So when you're identifying the rise, you're frame killing by walking forward. So if they back rise, you're closing the distance by walking forward, but also frame killing, right? Identify rise. And 2, whatever button you damn well please. Crush medium punch comes to mind. Standing light punch comes to mind. A little bit more difficult because of the less active frames in the window. Crush medium punch, crushing light punch. Shoot, I've seen crushing medium kick at certain ranges. Usually not crouching fierce because it's too reversible. But either way, so you manually time your immediate attack. What does this do though? What does this do on a very fundamental level? If we break away from the, how many times do you think in a day that Kimte, or in a week you do crouch medium punch, medium kick, V-skill launcher, kick, medium kick, demon flip, and snare, palm, forward dash, crouch fierce? How many times do you think on the CFN that's happening? And right now, as I said, we've been talking about, it's happened a million times, right? The substitution combo, similar but not at all. Carries a little bit further. But if you manually time and you don't even know what you're going for, then damn, your opponent doesn't either, right? So if you do a forward dash, and we do that palm late for a reason, we do the forward dash. I knew I screwed up some kind of notation there. Let's cancel. And then you are manually walk forward to kill frames. I should probably just note that. And then you go into crouch medium punch, or your standing light punch, or crouch light punch, or crouch medium kick, or your throw, or whatever that your heart's desire is. You're naturally inserting some kind of variation there. You're naturally doing it rather than saying, okay, in stone, I will do the combo, this one, right? We're gonna supplement it for this. So I don't know how I want to do that. Let's go for making it green. Go to green. Make green. Go. Everything green. Okay, this program's not working for me. I'll get better at it. Let's hop back to the thingamajig now that the data's down. Holy cow, are we into this? Sheldon, do you mind I use it against young Zeku, or prefer you just work on the crouch medium punch timing? What do you mean, Kimte? Young Zeku. You really think that young Zeku's they adjusted young Zeku's back rise, didn't they? They took away the fact that it was 10 frames to difference now. Didn't they patch all that shit out? Like after so many months? Yeah, they fixed it. So it's, I don't think he wakes up earlier. He used to wake up later on his back rise, and that and the timing is now identical. Doesn't mean the distance though on which he rises is identical. That's usually different. Yeah, 5 frames later, exactly. DDM is correct there. All right, what did I miss? What did I miss? Standing light kick to meaty everything. I don't know how Sneaky Sneak Thief is the one that put that out there. That should have been like my #1 button that I said. If you don't know, standing light kick is the GOAT. Is it the best meaty in the world? No, but my God, if I don't make it work. It's fantastic. All right. Did I miss anything else out of this now? Anything else? No? I'm trying to, the V-skill launcher notation is kind of weird. It sort of implies you're linking into the launcher when instead it's technically a cancel. Did I adjust that? Yeah, I adjusted it. Okay. All right, right here. Hakuma is especially super diamond and up. Need to be able to identify one thing. First off, a forward throw, what are your options? Microstep forward, standing strong, light red fireballs, max range, staying strong, that is. So that tells you how much to microstep. Light red fireball, that's pretty common. But her stun is high. So if her stun is high, I'm weary of the EXTP. So right here, however, we never forward dash, because if your opponent forward dashes at you, and guys in the chat, somebody listed, DDM might know, is there anybody in the cast in the current season that can still forward dash after a forward throw in the corner? I can't think of anyone off the top of my head that can forward dash after a forward throw in the corner. But none. Yes, the watch me queue is active. We're trying to work through it. I'm taking forever on this one. None. So as soon as you forward dash, this Cammy should have done crouching light punch, and there's no option that you have in the world that would save you. If you press the button, you're getting counter hit. Essentially, is what I'm getting at, right? So we cannot forward dash after forward throw in the corner. Akuma must microstep if you want continued offense. Things do you focus on? I don't even know where I'm going to put your bad habits in, but let's see. After, I'm just quickly adding that. After forward throw versus cornered opponent. I just gave you some options on your file there for what to do after forward throw. Basically, microstep forward, sending medium punch, light or fireball is the most obvious one to go for because it's the tightest one. And then if you want to, we start small and then widen it a little bit. If you want to get a little bit more tricky, you always have your walk forward, crouching medium punch. You can even do walk forward, crouching medium kick. If that hits counter hit, you have some decent options there. But your best approach is just a microstep forward, standing strong. I'm dying over here. Okay, so this is what I really wanted to get at, though. Man, I gotta hurry this along. Standing light kick and a medium kick tatsu, my favorite. Okay, so after blah, 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 blah. Neutral jump. If your opponent neutral jumps, back jumps, anything like that in the corner, we know what to press. V-skill launcher right here, and this opponent is dead. All done. No more. Technically speaking, yeah, you could have done medium punch DP. Buff for that in critical art and get killer that way. But it's a little bit more difficult. So V-skill launcher. If your opponent neutral jumps, back jumps, and tries to strike you at all, V-skill launcher. Parry, absorb that nonsense. That's why I'm a big firm believer in having a V-skill button. It's easier to reach for, in my opinion, than reaching for 2 buttons, especially in some other situations. But in the corner, it doesn't help, doesn't hurt. So we get tagged, unfortunately. Yeah, V-skill launcher, you can cancel that into EX demon flip, EX if EX demon flip, EX air tatsu, that's gonna do a lot of stun and damage for a single bar. Or you can cancel the V-skill launcher, anti-air into EX demon flip, EX air fireball, and then if you want to spend the second bar, for this would be 2 meter, right? EXDP. So that's a pretty good option for 2 bar. In this case, you would have stunned her off of the single V-skill launcher, EX demon flip, into the EX air tatsu ender. And then we could have built a little bit more meter real quick, and then hopefully stunned her out or finished her off pretty much. So unfortunate, but one thing to note always, and worth putting in your file then. One thing to always note, friends, is when your opponents are cornered, they feel like caged animals. When opponent is cornered, be ready to anti-air. I'm just adding in your file real quick. If I put a slash, that means you do one or the other. Okay, so that's for the back jump and neutral jump. It's just a simple air juggle. EX Demon Flip, EX Fireball, EX DP. And then there's more variations. I'm not gonna write them down, but you can imagine if you did EX Demon Flip into Dive, V Skill Palm, V Trigger Activate. If you need to get your V Trigger active, things like that. A million options. All right. Something to note though, and the reason why I pulled up the screen is what do you do if your opponent jumps out of the corner and you want to stay same side and you're up close? Air to air. Air to air is your only option if you want forward jump. So what's a forward jump when you have your opponent cornered? That means they're trying to cross you up. You want to stay the same side. If you want to not stay the same side, and this is typically not a choice, but more of a condition, gotta remember to hit tab, then you do the crosscut DP, which I hate that. For invincibility and but loses corner control. Dum. Wow, I was trying to get some shit out of this, huh? Okay, let's keep moving. Let's go. What's up, K Money? This looks almost too complicated, K Money. It probably is. But it's also this is also kind of me. We keep up with this stuff in the Discord, and ooh, we could have got a little bit better of a combo there. Keep up with the stuff in the Discord, and also it gives me some ideas and topics to go on. With across a few things, and it'll give me some ideas for short lessons for Akuma players everywhere. A little bit crazy with the EXDP there. Finally, we get some kind of strike. Crouch medium punch, of course, hitting counter hit. There's always better options than this. Ideally, if we activate V trigger, we don't want to do it if the fireball is going to knock down. So you want to do it after like a max range crouch medium kick fireball connector. That doesn't knock down. That's a little bit more ideal. But if it does knock down, then we just take simply what you did. All right. Really trying to bait out the... Perhaps going... I mean, you know... It's one thing about delayed light attack setups is... If they don't EXDP on the first one, then you go, oh, well, maybe they'll do it the next time, right? And then your brain starts playing weird tricks on you. So we've done 3 delayed light attack setups now, or delayed button setups, right? Where we're trying to bait out that what we feel is kind of awkward and obvious, right? And you're not wrong to do it, except you are up the round, okay? And since this is now in the second round and the end of the second round, we have enough data on our opponent to know and make some kind of educated guess. If you're wrong here, it's not devastating. You lose the round, big deal. We still have another round to go into. But we are introducing a little bit more variation at the very least. So I think maybe pushing the delayed light attack setups a little bit too much. Whereas, you know, if she's going to wake up buttons like this, I would go for... You have forward dash, standing light kick, okay? And then you can do a throw, which isn't going to kill. Alternatively, forward dash, standing light kick, standing light punch, or... crouch light punch, or of course the normal ones, so whiff crouch light punch, whiff crouch medium punch into forward throw, or crouch medium punch again. Got to be hyper ready to anti-air here, right? And that's probably another real reason why we don't want to allow her to get a block string off. So delayed light attack setups, the worst case scenario, what happens? Well, they get a block string. In this case though, because of the block string, and because they are cornered, and because V-Trigger is already active for them, Cammy does what she wants to do. Whoop. Which in reality, if we're playing it frame by frame, was exactly what Akuma wants Cammy to do. You won it. You won as soon as she did this. Light V-Trigger. DP. Light DP. In V-Trigger mode. And all done. Sadly, we get tagged. But we all do. We all do. And Cammy did not need to spend that. I'm almost positive she doesn't have to spend all of it, does she? Can't she just do a single bar? If she can't, then by all means, spend it all. Meter doesn't mean anything if you're dead. What's up, Wiggles?
Not yet.
Final round.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Kimte, also on the delayed, I was noticing you did crush medium punch. Technically speaking, yeah, if you're gonna do a delayed light attack setup, well, delayed attack setup. The reason why we call them delayed light attack setups.
Did it, Father?
McBot, thank you for your subscription. 3 months, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, you typically want to retake offense as soon as possible. So the more fundamentally sound thing to do is go for your light attack. So you do like standing light punch into whatever you want. Okay, standing fierce is a questionable thing to do here because we're playing against Cammy, right? So just gotta be careful. So we get tagged but no conversion. We get tagged again. How are we getting tagged? Delay button, and this time delay crushing medium punch. I would prefer you to hold on to that. And then we wake up button with the standing light punch, so we're just getting lit up. And just like that, what was 2 very close rounds, very, very close rounds, very competitive rounds. This is how it can unfold for you, okay? First off, we go for the standing fierce. The standing fierce, if just whiffed, is a hopeful button, but we press it really far out there. Perhaps we want it back fierce or something like that. Still, I'm not a big believer in back fierce versus the dive kick. I know it technically works on another level. I prefer priority of invincibility over it, so medium punch TP. But fine. But everybody needs to have this kind of sense about them. Okay, so Cammy drops combo. Perhaps didn't have enough frames. You gotta have the sense about you to. Right here, hindsight 2020, right? Backdash. Backdash is so good right here. It's so good. It's gonna make your hurt box half as wide as your standing hurt box. So way wider than your crouching hurt box. And it's also gonna travel naturally away from Cammy. Air reset, big deal if you get tagged. No big deal at this range. But we allow the forward walk, the walk. And then we try to reversal finally with the 6-frame button. 6-frame button gets tagged by Cammy's. And now suddenly we are waking up on our first media attack. Essentially. Okay? Here is where I see a lot of Kuma players make a mistake. That is, we look at our health, we look at our stun, we look at the position on the screen, we look at our meter maybe, and we go, you know what? I've made comebacks from way worse. We have room on our credit card. Let's make a couple purchases, right? So we try out the standing light punch. Well, now Cammy's +7 for the counter hit, and now your stun is building. Better to have probably held buttons. Eat a throw if you have to, because we know what to do after we eat the throw. We know to check and whatnot. In this case, she drops her combo, but gets you on delayed buttons, right? The delayed, in this case, it looks like she got you on a crushing light punch. And now suddenly we're here, right? And this is just not where we needed to be. If you had what I call like IDOM sense. IDOM is annoying as hell because from IDOM, if I lock IDOM down with the block string right here, he's backdashing. And he's already out of my, it's already like he's not, I have the map advantage, but he's just slipped out of my grasp. And it's so tough to deal with, right? Because we're back to the neutral suddenly. Where the story started, where this all started to go downhill was when we allowed this, right? And we were too concerned with defense and then countering if there was a big enough window than rather than escaping, right? And it just goes downhill from here. Waking up button where we probably needed defense or the EXDP, you know, hindsight's 2020. EXDP at this stage would have been a little bit surprising, and we need to burn a bar as well. And then we're in the cyclone, man. So bop bop, and then we just get tagged from real far away, trying our own crouching medium kick. So you're thinking, okay, I'm gonna wake up low. If they're gonna try to shimmy, I'll wake up low. Do the same for Kelly. Throw the fireball, V trigger activate, forward dash, medium kick, V skill launch, light kick tatsu, heavy kick tatsu. They're in the corner. My V trigger's active. I'm a hero. Everybody's cheering, but they just tagged you for one hit stun. Last chance. And then we try it. And they were gracious, but we get tagged again. If you're gonna, in reality, the best advice I could have given you at the end there is if you're gonna suspect any kind of frame trap at all, you mash that V-trigger DP like you have never mashed before, because it's gonna give you a hard knockdown. And that is the very beginning of a very long road backwards, back to attempting to retake the round. So it's amazing how quickly, guys, just a couple bad buttons will ruin the batch. You can be patient for 99 seconds of both round 1 and round 2. They can be as close as hell. And then in round 3, it can be over in seconds. That's just the nature of Akuma. And to die with 3 bars like that sucks. Focus on preservation, err on the side of caution. So preserve by backdashing. Block a couple, rule of thumb. Okay, rule of thumb. You block a couple point blank normals, typically a light into a medium, or a medium into a medium, especially even better. Backdash, get the hell out of there. Reset it back to the neutral. Bleed the stage. Okay, that's when you bleed off map advantage. It's a very good opportunity too. If you're going to spend your resources, map advantage being one, of course, bleed it by getting a better range. Things to focus on. We threw that. So we're going to wrap it up on that one for you, because I think we're going to do the entire set. There's no way I